I'm doing a video. This is the first time I've ever done something like this. I am making cookies for Katie, for Lydia, Kate, and Leta for their birthdays, and I'm gonna film it. So I am actually making gluten-free, dairy-free chocolate chip cookies. So I'm gonna show you all my ingredients. I have the chocolate chip cookie recipe here from allrecipes.com, which I guess is like the best recipe. I'm cutting out the nuts because I'm not a fan of nuts in my chocolate chip cookies. And Darlene can't have the nuts anyway, so we don't keep nuts around. But yeah, so I will show you all my ingredients and what I'm substituting. And yeah. And also, here's Darlene hanging out with me. I don't know how long she'll stay, if she's sleeping. But I just have her one implant in. The other one, it was giving her a little bit of a few issues. So we just took that off just for momentary, so that it can kind of, I think it was itchy or something. She kept itching it. So we'll take her into the doctor and get that looked at. But that's beside the point. We're going to make cookies. And she's just sleeping away, as she does. Okay, so here's all my ingredients, and I'm using that as my phone stand partly. I have a pop socket here, but anyways, so this is just your standard chocolate chip cookie recipe, but like I said, I'm substituting. So the first ingredient on the list is 1 cup of butter softened, and because these are gluten-free, dairy-free cookies, I am using the Earth Balance Original Buttery Spread. It's non-GMO and it's vegan, but it has no MSG, no trans fat, gluten-free, non-dairy, lactose-free, and expeller pressed oils, whatever that means. But I made a cake one time that was gluten-free, dairy-free, and egg-free, and this is the butter that I used. And the person I made it for said, I haven't had cake in 10 years, and it was the best cake. So I'm using this as my butter, Earth Balance. I got this at Smart and Final, but I know that Albertsons, where I work, sells it. Most places should sell it. I was surprised that I could find it at Smart and Final. 1 cup of white sugar, 1 cup of packed brown sugar, 2 eggs, 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract. It calls for 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 2 teaspoons of hot water, and that's in here. It says to dissolve the baking soda in the hot water, so that's what's in there. So I'll go back in a second and get a spoon. And 1/2 teaspoon of salt, just regular old table salt. 3 cups of all-purpose flour. And I am using the all-purpose baking flour that's by Bob's Red Mill. This is what I use to make the cake. And I also found this at Smart & Final, but I know that we sell this at Albertsons. And I'm sure there's other places that sell it. But yes, I totally go by this. It's wheat-free, dairy-free. I can have all the food in the world, but I've used this before and to make a cake, and it totally worked. So I use it. But yeah, it's like $5. It's actually not that expensive. And I really only needed 1 package because I only needed 3 cups, and this is what was left over. So if you were making 1 recipe of cookies, 1 bag. So that's 3 cups of flour. And then 2 cups, which is here, of semi-sweet chocolate chips. And I am using the Enjoy Life Mega Chunks. They are dairy, nut, and soy free, which is perfect. I got these at Albertsons, but I'm sure I did not find these at Smart & Final. They had everything else but these. But yeah, they have no wheat, no dairy, peanuts, tree nuts, eggs, soy, fish, and shellfish. And so it's also made without casein, potatoes, sesame, and sulfites, which is great because with the cow's milk protein allergy, you can't have any little drop of something that is milk, can be milk, whatever. And so there's that. And then it calls for nuts. Like I said, I'm not putting nuts in mine. Yeah, I'm not putting nuts. So yeah, that's my roughly 2 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips. And I got my mixing bowl. I got my mixers, or my mixer. I'm going to put this away and a few other things. I bought milk. I don't know why I thought I needed milk for cookies. And I thought I bought those. I might make some peanut butter ones for Chad, or I may just give him some of these. But yeah, that's all my ingredients, and let's get to mixing. Also, I should have mentioned, you preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 175 degrees Celsius. That's what the recipe here on all recipes says. And if I remember, I'll link that recipe below. And maybe I'll just take pictures of these and like include them somewhere in here so that you can show. But yes, 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Preheat your oven. It's doing it right now. Okay, let's get started. Okay, let's pull this recipe up again. Okay, so we're going to cream together the butter, which is here, which has softened. Cream together the butter, the white sugar, and the brown sugar. Until smooth. And we're beating the eggs in one at a time and then stirring in the vanilla. So we've beaten in the eggs. We've creamed together the butter, the white sugar, and the brown sugar until smooth. This looks rather smooth. And then we're going to stir in the vanilla. So let's pour the vanilla in there. And then after the vanilla, they want us to dissolve the baking soda in hot water, which I started that in the beginning. I think the recipe just says it just works better that way. But let's stir in. I'm gonna give that a start. Dissolved baking soda in warm water, and then the salt. And then we'll mix. mixer, you know I would be using it. So now we're going to start to mix. Let me just make sure. Add the batter along with stir in flour, chocolate chips, and nuts. So we're going to add a little bit of the flour because we don't want to make a mess. And these little bowls are nice because they're plastic, and I can just stick them in the dishwasher. We'll put some of those in there to get it a good mix in. Hopefully some of that'll fall off. So now that we've mixed everything together, we're gonna let that just kind of do its thing. Then we can dollop it on the pan and bake it. And so onto an ungreased pan, and we're gonna bake for about 10 minutes or until edges are nicely browned. So just to forewarn, if you're using a hand mixer, your hand can get tired after a while, like mine. Mine is like, ah. So just, if you have to take a break, take a break. But yeah, I'm currently letting as much batter as I can drip off. And I'm just going to make like 4 smaller cookies just to test them. And then I can freeze the rest of this batter to send, and then I can cook them fresh the night before I send the package out, and then they're all fresh and ready to go so that I can send them, 2 weeks before Lita's birthday or whatever. But yeah, I cannot wait to try these. I'm so excited to see how they turn out. So, let's get to putting them on the pan. Okay, Darlene update. Still asleep, which is fine. I don't mind. And she just looks so cute, just laying there with her little dolly and her blanket. Her little feetsies hanging out because it is a little hot in here, and she's near that. I probably shouldn't have her near the oven. It's probably not the smartest thing to do, but I will make sure I move her when I put the cookies in the oven. But yeah. Okay, so I have my baking sheet down here. I have my cookies. Don't they just look so good? And so I'm gonna take my spoon. I'm recovering from a cold that I had like a month ago, and I have this lingering cough, like where I cough like 4 times a day and it just will not go away, and I'm so tired of it. So I moved Darlene out into the dining room for right now, just so that she's still nearby and I can keep an eye on her, but she's away from the oven. And it's kind of warm in there. I'm feeling kind of hot, so yeah, I'll do what I need to do, and yep. Okay, so we're gonna check the oven timer. Oh, there's a piece of foil in there, but it looks like it says 350, so I think we're good to go. I may get tongs or something and remove that foil, because I don't need that foil. My dad must have baked something in there and put the foil down. Okay, so I'm going to use my hot pad. I'm going to take this pan and we're going to go to the oven. Stick them in the oven, 350 degrees for 10 minutes. Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes for cookies.
cookies timer, 10 minutes, starting now.
Okay, so I've got the cookies in the Tupperware, or the leftover batter, and this is going to go in the freezer until I'm ready to bake some more. Alexa, how much time is left on my timer?
You have 6 minutes and 30 seconds left on your cookies timer.
Okay, here's the batter again. I labeled it so that I know what's in it, so that when I'm in the freezer one day, what's that? Oh, it's the cookies. And so my dad doesn't like, oh, what's this? What's this? You know, just so everybody knows.
Your cookies timer is done.
Alexa, stop. So my timer said they were done, but I have a feeling they're not, because I just checked right as it went before it went off, and they don't look, well, let's see. These are huge, actually they're huge cookies. Let me put these over here and see. Some of them have golden brown edges. So, as you can see, some of these got a little stuck to the pan. I am not a baker, but they do look good. So I'm gonna let them cool on the cooling rack, and then I will either try one of these broken ones or I'll try one. But yeah, there they are. They actually look really good. Okay, here's your last Darlene update. She is still sleeping, and that's good. She must, well, obviously she likes napping, but okay, so they are rather cool. They're still gooey. They're still kind of warm, but they're actually really good. I've been kind of picking at this one because it's the most broken one. It's pretty good. I would totally, yeah, definitely recommend these. I think once they cool down a little bit more, maybe they'll harden up and they won't be as flimsy, but thumbs up for me, totally.